Commander Maya Patel stood at the helm of the TDF Inexorable, her dark eyes fixed on the massive holographic display that dominated the bridge. The ship's quantum sensors had detected something unprecedented, a tear in spacetime that definitely wasn't natural. After decades of searching the stars for signs of intelligent life, humanity's first contact was about to happen in the most unexpected way. Multiple signatures emerging from the anomaly. Lieutenant James Wong reported, his fingers dancing across the haptic interface. Count is 17 vessels. Configuration unknown. They're being pursued by something much larger. The tear in space stretched wider, and through it came ships that defied conventional physics. They appeared to be made of pure light, their hulls transparent and flowing like liquid glass. Behind them, massive dark shapes emerged, ships that seemed to absorb all light around them, their surfaces rippling like oil on water. "We're receiving a transmission," Communications Officer Elena Rodriguez announced. It's a distress call. The Universal Translation Matrix is processing it now." Maya's jaw tightened. The Terran Defense Force had been created to protect humanity's expanding colonial interests, but they'd never imagined their first encounter with alien life would be in the middle of what appeared to be a pursuit. The trailing ships were clearly hostile, their very presence seeming to distort the fabric of space around them. "Help, please." The translation came through in broken English, the alien voice carrying a musical quality that made it sound almost like singing. "The Void Hunters. They consume all. Nowhere else to run." Multiple weapon signatures charging on the pursuing vessels. Tactical Officer Kenzo Tanaka reported, his usual calm demeanor tensed with urgency. "They're preparing to fire on the refugee ships." Maya had trained her entire life for first contact scenarios, but nothing had prepared her for this moment. The Inexorable was the pride of the Terran fleet, built to withstand the crushing pressures of gas-giant atmospheres and the intense radiation of solar storms. Its hull was reinforced with layers of metamaterials that could absorb and redistribute energy, designed to survive conditions that would tear lesser ships apart. "All hands to battle stations," Maya ordered, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "Launch defensive screen. Prepare to extend our shield envelope around the refugee vessels. Let's show these Void Hunters what happens when you push your prey into humanity's territory." The Inexorable's crew moved with practiced precision, their bodies conditioned by generations of life on Earth to handle the stress of rapid acceleration and high-G maneuvers. The ship's massive engines flared to life, pushing against the fabric of space itself as it moved to intercept. The first shots from the Void Hunters crossed the vast distance of space in seconds, beams of absolute darkness that seemed to eat away at reality itself. They struck the Inexorable's shields and found them unyielding. Human engineering, built to withstand the harshest conditions nature could devise, proved equally effective against artificial threats. "Return fire," Maya commanded. "All batteries, full spread. Show them why Earth's gravity well made us strong." The Inexorable's weapon systems, designed to function in atmospheric conditions that would destroy most spacecraft, unleashed their fury. Plasma torpedoes, accelerated to near-relativistic speeds by magnetic fields that could contain the power of a small star, streaked across space. The Void Hunters, apparently unused to facing weapons of such brute force, took devastating hits. "The refugee ships are requesting permission to form up behind us," Rodriguez reported. They're calling us their guardians." Maya allowed herself a small smile. "Grant permission. Tactical, coordinate with our new allies. Let's see what their technology can do when it's not running scared." The battle that followed would be remembered in both human and alien histories as the moment everything changed. The Inexorable's massive hull absorbed punishment that would have annihilated most ships, while its weapons demonstrated why humanity's primitive approach to space combat, born from the need to function in Earth's challenging environment, was devastatingly effective against advanced alien technology. The light ships, which Maya learned were crewed by beings calling themselves the Luminox, proved to be masters of energy manipulation. Once they realized they were finally safe behind the inexorable shields, they began to coordinate their efforts, creating complex patterns of light that somehow enhanced the human vessel's already formidable defenses. "The Void Hunters are retreating," Wong announced after 30 minutes of intense combat. "Their remaining vessels are falling back through the anomaly." "Let them run," Maya said, watching the dark ships flee. "Let them tell others what they found here. That Earth's children don't take kindly to bullies, no matter what galaxy they're from." As the adrenaline of battle faded, Maya found herself facing an even greater challenge: official first contact with a grateful alien species. The Luminox representatives were requesting permission to come aboard, their message carrying overtones of both relief and curiosity. "They're asking," Rodriguez reported with a note of wonder in her voice, "what kind of spectacular world could produce beings capable of such incredible resilience?" Maya looked around at her crew, all of them built strong by Earth's higher gravity, all of them naturally adapted to handle stress and survive harsh conditions. She thought about how humanity had evolved as persistence hunters, developing endurance and determination that had served them well in space. "Tell them," she said, "we come from a place they might call a death world, and we would be honored to teach them how to turn their light into a weapon that the darkness will learn to fear." The observation deck of the TDF Inexorable offered an unparalleled view of Earth, its blue-green sphere dominating the viewport as the ship maintained high orbit. Ambassador Lazara of the Luminox hovered beside Commander Maya Patel, the alien's crystalline form shifting through patterns of azure and gold as she observed humanity's homeworld. "Your planet's gravity readings cannot be correct," Lazara said, her translated voice carrying tones of disbelief. "No sentient species could evolve under such crushing force." Maya smiled, watching a weather system swirl across North America. "Not only did we evolve there, but we thrived. Earth isn't just our home. It's our proving ground, our crucible. Everything that makes us effective in space comes from surviving there first." The Luminox delegation had spent the past week studying human physiology and technology with growing amazement. Their own species had evolved in the upper atmospheres of gas giants, their bodies naturally existing as patterns of energy before they developed their crystalline containment vessels. "Your bones," Lazara continued, projecting a holographic comparison between human and Luminox biology. "They're dense enough to support your mass and gravity that would shatter our strongest containment crystals. Your muscles generate forces we can barely measure. Even your cellular structure is reinforced in ways we've never seen. Earth demanded strength from us," Maya explained, calling up historical footage of human evolution. "Our ancestors had to outrun predators, survive extreme weather, and adapt to rapidly changing conditions. We evolved as persistence hunters, capable of pursuing prey until it collapsed from exhaustion." The images showed early humans tracking animals across African savannas, their bodies built for endurance and determination. In space, that translated to incredible advantages. The conditions that would incapacitate most species are merely inconvenient for us. A group of human engineers passed by on their way to the maintenance bay, their movements casual despite the artificial gravity being set to Earth normal. To the Luminox, who preferred gravity at 1/10 this strength, it was like watching beings walk through thick syrup. "But it's not just our bodies," Maya continued. "Everything we build has to function under Earth's conditions. Our ships aren't just space vessels. They're designed to operate in crushing atmospheric pressure, intense radiation, and extreme temperature variations." Lazara's form pulsed with new understanding. "That's why the Void Hunters' weapons were so ineffective against your vessel. Their energy-based attacks were calibrated for ships built for the vacuum of space, not—" She paused, searching for the right words, "not for vessels designed to survive a death world." The ship's intercom crackled to life. "Commander to the testing range," Lieutenant Wong's voice announced. "The joint combat exercises are ready to begin." Maya gestured for Lazara to follow her to the ship's massive training facility. Inside, human Marines in powered armor stood alongside hovering Luminox warriors, both groups preparing for their first joint combat drill. "Watch," Maya said as the exercise began. The Marines moved with practiced efficiency, their armor servos whining as they compensated for movements that would strain even human muscles. The Luminox, rather than trying to match human physical capabilities, began weaving complex patterns of energy around their allies. "Remarkable," Lizara observed. "Your species' approaches to combat are completely different, yet complementary. We manipulate energy, you manipulate matter. Together, we're stronger than either would be alone." The exercise reached its climax as Marines and Luminox coordinated an assault on a simulated Void Hunter position. The humans provided the raw physical force, while the Luminox created energy fields that enhanced their allies' strength and speed while protecting them from enemy fire. "There's something else you should understand about Earth," Maya said as they watched the troops below. "Our world didn't just make us strong. It taught us the importance of adaptation and cooperation. Earth's history is filled with species that survived not because they were the strongest, but because they learned to work together." Lizara's form shifted to a deep blue of contemplation. "Perhaps that is why we were drawn to your space when fleeing the Void Hunters. Something in our species recognized that we needed not just protectors, but teachers." An alert sounded throughout the ship, interrupting their conversation. "Commander, to the bridge." Rodriguez's voice carried urgency. "Long-range sensors have detected multiple Void Hunter signatures approaching the Sol system. They're bringing a fleet this time." Maya's expression hardened. "They're testing us, seeing if our victory was a fluke." She turned to Lizara. "Care to help us show them why you don't attack a species that evolved on a Deathworld?" The Luminox ambassador's form blazed with fierce light. "We would be honored. Perhaps it's time to show them what happens when they face the children of Earth and the masters of light together." As they hurried to the bridge, Maya couldn't help but smile. The Void Hunters were about to learn that humanity's greatest strength wasn't just their physical capabilities or their robust technology. It was their ability to turn any alliance into a force multiplier. The coming battle would prove that when you combine human resilience with alien ingenuity, the result was something entirely new, and tremendously dangerous to anyone foolish enough to provoke it. The tactical room aboard the TDF, inexorable, hummed with activity as Commander Maya Patel studied the holographic display with her mixed human Luminox command staff. The approaching Void Hunter fleet was larger than anything they'd encountered before, nearly 100 ships strong. "They've adapted their energy weapons," Lieutenant Wang reported, highlighting several technical readouts. "The frequency shifts suggest they're trying to counter our shield technology." Maya nodded, watching the simulation of enemy movements. The Void Hunters were learning, evolving their tactics. But they weren't the only ones who could adapt. They still don't understand what they're really fighting against. "Show them the new defensive formations." The hologram shifted, displaying a complex battle plan that merged human combat doctrine with Luminox energy manipulation. Lizara, now serving as the official liaison between the two species, pulsed with approval as she observed the simulation. "We've integrated the crystalline matrices into your ship's hull structure," she explained, her form creating intricate patterns that mirrored the tactical display. "When powered by our energy fields, they'll amplify your already formidable defenses exponentially." The engineering team had worked around the clock to merge the two technologies. Human ships, already built to withstand incredible stresses, now incorporated Luminox crystal arrays that could channel and redirect enemy energy attacks. It was a perfect synthesis of Earth's brute strength and alien sophistication. "Lieutenant Tanaka," Maya called to her tactical officer, "show them what we discovered about their bioorganic hulls." The display changed, showing detailed scans of the Void Hunter vessels. "Their ships are essentially living tissue," Tanaka explained, his voice carrying the excitement of scientific discovery. "They've evolved to resist energy weapons, but they've never encountered anything like our kinetic ammunition. Their biological armor has no defense against simple physics." This revelation had led to a revolutionary change in human combat strategy. While the Void Hunters had expected humanity to follow the galactic trend toward energy weapons, the TDF had instead refined their mass driver technology. Sometimes, the oldest solutions were the most effective. "Begin the evacuation of the civilian stations," Maya ordered. "All non-essential personnel to the planetary defense shelters. I want every ship in the Sol system combat-ready within 6 hours." As her crew rushed to implement her orders, Maya found herself reflecting on humanity's journey to this moment. Their evolution as pursuit predators had given them more than just physical advantages. It had shaped their entire approach to warfare. "You're smiling, Commander," Lizara observed. An unusual expression given the circumstances. "I'm thinking about our ancestors," Maya replied, zooming the tactical display to show the entire solar system. They were persistence hunters. They didn't try to outfight their prey. They outlasted it, pursued it until it couldn't run anymore. That's exactly what the Void Hunters have done to your people, isn't it? They chase their victims across space until they're too exhausted to resist. Lizara's form dimmed slightly. "Yes, we could never fight them directly, so we ran. For generations, we ran. But now, they're the ones being hunted," Maya said, her smile growing fiercer. "They thought they were pursuing weak prey into our territory. Instead, they've run straight into the galaxy's apex predators. And we don't just hunt alone anymore." The next few hours were a flurry of preparation. Human ships moved into defensive positions around Earth and its colonies, their newly integrated Luminox technology, giving their hulls a subtle crystalline sheen. Luminox vessels took up supporting positions, their energy matrices already beginning to weave protective fields between the human ships. "Multiple FTL signatures detected," Wang announced as the enemy fleet arrived. They're targeting Earth directly." Maya's expression hardened. Of course they would target humanity's homeworld. It was what any predator would do. Strike at the heart, eliminate the greatest threat first. But Earth had been preparing its children for this moment for millions of years. "All ships, execute Battle Plan Artemis," she commanded, naming the strategy after humanity's ancient goddess of the hunt. "Show them what happens when you corner a predator in its own den." The battle began with a display of power that would be remembered for generations. As the Void Hunters launched their first assault, expecting their enhanced weapons to overwhelm human defenses, they encountered something unprecedented. The combined human Luminox fleet moved as one organism, their technologies working in perfect harmony. Luminox energy fields caught enemy attacks and channeled them through crystal matrices, transforming deadly force into usable power. Human ships, their already formidable hulls now enhanced by alien science, shrugged off impacts that should have vaporized them. And then they responded with Earth's own brand of warfare. Railguns accelerated massive projectiles to relativistic speeds, their simple kinetic energy ripping through bioorganic hulls that had never evolved to resist such primitive weapons. Human fighters, piloted by crews who could withstand G-forces that would kill most species, executed maneuvers that seemed to defy physics. "They're attempting to regroup," Tanaka reported, tracking enemy movements. "Their formation suggests they're preparing for another mass attack." Maya watched the enemy fleet's movements with the eye of a hunter. "They're not regrouping," she realized. "They're starting to panic. All ships, press the advantage. Don't let them coordinate. The predator becomes the prey." The battle that followed would change the balance of power in the galaxy forever. The Void Hunters, facing an enemy they couldn't wear down and couldn't outfight, began to break formation. And as they did, humanity showed them why Earth's apex predators had dominated their world for millions of years. It wasn't just about strength or technology. It was about the relentless pursuit, the coordinated pack tactics, the ability to adapt and overcome that had been bred into humanity's very DNA. And now, enhanced by their alliance with the Luminox, those ancient hunting instincts were being unleashed on a galactic scale. The void between Mars and Jupiter erupted with light and fury as the largest space battle in human history reached its crescendo. The TDF Inexorable led the combined human Luminox fleet in a desperate gambit to end the Void Hunter threat once and for all. Their enemy had revealed their true power, a massive hive ship that dwarfed everything else in the battlefield. Energy readings are off the scale, Lieutenant Wong reported, his hands dancing across his console as new data poured in. That thing's not just a ship, it's their central consciousness, the source of their entire hive mind. Commander Maya Patel stood at the tactical display, her expression focused as she analyzed the situation. The hive ship was unlike anything they'd encountered before, a writhing mass of bioorganic matter that seemed to bend space around it. But its very size made it a target that couldn't be missed. "All ships, form up on our position," she ordered. "Luminox vessels, begin energy integration sequence. Let's show them what our combined technologies can really do." The human fleet moved with practiced precision, their formations tightening as crystalline energy fields began to weave between them. The Luminox had taught them how to channel their power through the modified hull plating, creating a network of energy that linked the entire fleet into a single weapon system. "The hive ship is preparing to fire," Tactical Officer Tanaka warned. "Energy buildup suggests it's going to be their strongest attack yet." Maya watched as the massive vessel's organic weapons began to pulse with deadly power. "Lazara, are your people ready?" The Luminox ambassador's form blazed with determination. "We are prepared, Commander. The energy matrices are aligned. What your people would call the trap is set." The hive ship's attack came like a tide of darkness, a wave of destructive energy that should have annihilated anything in its path. But as it struck the human Luminox formation, something unprecedented happened. The Luminox crystal matrices, integrated into human hull plating that had been forged to withstand the pressures of Earth itself, didn't just resist the attack, they absorbed it. "Energy capture successful," Lieutenant Rodriguez announced from her station, her voice tight with concentration. "Crystal matrices are at maximum capacity. They won't be able to hold this much power for long." Maya's smile was fierce. "They don't need to. All ships, execute Protocol Thunderbolt." The combined fleet's formation shifted, their linked energy fields creating a massive focusing array. The captured power of the hook ship's own attack was channeled through human weapon systems, amplified by Luminox technology, and redirected back at its source. The result was spectacular. The hive ship's bioorganic hull, evolved to project energy rather than receive it, had no defense against its own power turned back upon it. Massive ruptures appeared across its surface as the energy tore it apart from within. "Multiple secondary explosions detected," Tanaka reported. "Their linked consciousness is breaking down. The smaller ships are losing coordination." Maya watched as chaos spread through the enemy fleet. Without the hive ship's central control, the Void Hunter's greatest strength, their unified consciousness, became their greatest weakness. Individual ships began to move erratically, their actions uncoordinated and panicked. "All vessels, weapons free," she commanded. "Target their engines. Don't let any of them escape to warn others." What followed was less a battle than a hunt, with human ships pursuing their prey with relentless efficiency, while Luminox vessels provided support and containment. It was a perfect demonstration of why Earth's predators had dominated their world: the ability to coordinate, to adapt, and to press an advantage until victory was absolute. "Commander," Wong called out, his voice carrying a note of awe, "we're detecting something strange from the hive ship's remains. Some kind of data transmission." The tactical display shifted to show streams of information pouring from the dying vessel. The Luminox's crystalline matrices began to pulse with excitement as they processed the data. "It's their library," Lazara explained, her form shifting through patterns of wonder and triumph. "Their entire historical database. They're not just a hive mind. They're refugees like us. They've been running from something even worse, consuming other species to grow strong enough to fight back." Maya's expression softened slightly. "So they became the very thing they were running from. How long have they been running?" Millennia, Lizora replied. But their data suggests their hunters haven't been seen in generations. They might not even exist anymore. The Void Hunters just couldn't stop running, couldn't stop consuming. The bridge fell silent as this revelation sank in. Finally, Maya spoke. Secure any surviving Void Hunter vessels. Have our xenobiologists begin studying ways to help their drones survive without the hive mind. Maybe we can help them remember who they were before fear turned them into monsters. As the fleet began recovery operations, Maya found herself looking back toward the distant point of light that was Earth. Humanity had evolved as predators, yes, but they had also evolved the capacity for mercy, for understanding, and for growth. Perhaps that was their greatest strength, not the ability to fight, but the wisdom to know when to stop fighting. Lieutenant Rodriguez, she called out, prepare a message to Earth Command. Tell them the immediate threat is over, but our work is just beginning. The galaxy just got a lot more complicated, and humanity's role in it just got a lot more important. 6 months after the Battle of the Asteroid Belt, Earth had changed. The planet's orbit now hosted a remarkable sight. Crystalline structures of Luminox design intertwined with the sturdy human space stations, while reformed Void Hunter vessels, their bioorganic hulls, now a peaceful green rather than threatening black, moved between them with purpose rather than menace. Commander Maya Patel stood in the newly constructed Galactic Council chamber, built in lunar orbit as a symbol of humanity's emerging role in interstellar politics. The chamber was designed to accommodate all 3 species: standard gravity sections for humans, low gravity areas for Luminox crystalline forms, and specialized bioorganic interfaces for the recovering Void Hunters, now calling themselves the Metamorphs. The integration of the healing matrices continues to show promise. Ambassador Lizora reported, her crystalline form pulsing with optimism. The separated drones are developing individual consciousness. They're remembering what they were before fear consumed them. Maya watched as a metamorph representative floated nearby, its once threatening organic form now translucent and almost beautiful. The species was slowly recovering its lost identity, helped by both human persistence and Luminox energy manipulation techniques. We owe you more than we can express. The metamorph spoke, its voice a harmonious blend of organic vibrations. Your people could have destroyed us. Instead, you helped us remember who we were. Earth taught us something important, Maya replied, thinking of humanity's long journey from prehistoric hunters to spacefaring civilization. Strength isn't just about the ability to fight. It's about the wisdom to know when to stop fighting, and the courage to help former enemies become allies. The chamber's main display activated, showing feeds from across the solar system. Human engineering teams worked alongside Luminox energy specialists to upgrade Earth's defensive capabilities. Metamorph bioorganic technology was being adapted to help terraform Mars, their ability to modify environments being turned to constructive purposes. The deep space sensors are online. Lieutenant Wong reported from his new position as head of the combined species early warning network. We're now able to monitor spatial anomalies across 50 light years. If there really is something else out there, something that originally scared the Metamorphs into becoming the Void Hunters, we'll know about it. Maya nodded, but her attention was drawn to another display showing the latest breakthrough in combined technology. Human ships were being upgraded with hybrid systems, the durability of Earthborn engineering enhanced by Luminox energy manipulation and metamorph adaptive biology. The result was something entirely new in the galaxy, vessels that could both withstand and adapt to almost any challenge. The first joint exploration fleet is ready for launch, Tactical Officer Tanaka announced. 10 ships, crews from all 3 species. They're calling it the Destiny Initiative. Maya smiled at the name. The fleet would carry the combined strength of 3 species into the unknown. Humanity's resilience, the Luminox's mastery of energy, and the Metamorph's ability to adapt and evolve. Each race had evolved in response to different challenges, and together they were stronger than any could be alone. There's something poetic about it, Lazara observed, her form shifting through patterns of contemplation. The metamorphs ran from ancient hunters until they became hunters themselves. They chased us across the galaxy until we found refuge with humanity. And humanity, born on a world that should have been too harsh for civilization to arise, turned out to be exactly what we all needed. Because we remember, the metamorph representative added, its form rippling with new understanding. We remember what it was like to be hunted, to be afraid. But we also remember what it was like to be more than that. Maya turned her attention to the largest display, which showed Earth rotating serenely below them. The cradle of humanity now served as a beacon for galactic cooperation, its harsh conditions having forged not just strong bodies and resilient technology, but also the wisdom to use that strength wisely. "Launch the Destiny Fleet," she ordered, her voice carrying the weight of this historic moment. "Let's show the galaxy what we can accomplish together." As the combined fleet departed Earth orbit, their hybrid ships gleaming with the merged technology of 3 species, Maya reflected on how far they'd come. Humanity had reached for the stars expecting to find enemies or empty space. Instead, they'd found allies who needed precisely what Earth's harsh cradle had taught them to be. They were no longer just the descendants of persistence hunters, though that strength still flowed in their veins. They were no longer just the children of a death world, though that resilience had saved them all. They had become something more: teachers, healers, protectors, and explorers. The stars had once seemed cold and distant. Now they beckoned with the promise of new discoveries, new challenges, and new opportunities to prove that the true measure of strength wasn't in the ability to destroy, but in the power to protect, to heal, and to build. As the Destiny Fleet vanished into faster-than-light travel, they carried with them humanity's greatest gift to the galaxy: the understanding that evolution's harshest lessons, tempered by wisdom and compassion, could forge not just survivors, but guardians of something greater than themselves. The legacy of Earth, it turned out, wasn't just the strength to endure. It was the vision to see beyond mere survival to the possibilities that lay in cooperation, adaptation, and growth. And that legacy would now shape the future of 3 species among the stars.